Hi, I'm Ida Turbot with Keller Williams. I'd like to introduce you to Chris Bender from Bender Construction. I've known Chris for now about 4 years, and when I say that he makes my life so much easier in real estate, I'm not exaggerating. From the time I go to a property to get it ready to put it on the market, I call Chris. I sound like it's a commercial, don't I? Anyway, when we go under contract on the property and it needs some work to be done, I call Chris, and Chris will completely do all of the work for the home prior to closing and be able to make sure that when we go to closing that the buyer who's purchasing the property as well as the buyer's agent are 100% happy. What I'd like to ask you is that when a seller is ready to put a home on the market, what do you think are the most important things to think about and what they should be looking for before they even call me to say, all right, before I call Ida, I know I need to do certain things. What would those be?
I would say exterior paint is probably one of the things that is most overlooked. If you can think about it as protecting your home from the outside in, exterior paint should be maintained every 3 to 5 years. Also, the roof is often overlooked because it's up there and you don't really see it and you forget about it, when in fact it's acting as an umbrella of your whole investment. So I think the exterior, definitely you should maintain it every 3 to 5 years. Check your roof every 10 to 15 years. And then also on the interior, same thing, paint. Every couple of years, have your house touched up and paint, and it'll protect your investment. Most of the stuff we do, excuse me for interrupting, but most of the stuff we do is cosmetic. Some of it's structural, but most of it's cosmetic.
I just have to use an example of, I go to list a home. I find out that when I walk in, staging is very important, but I always make a little bit of a joke, but I'm being very serious. My idea of staging is painting the interior, painting the exterior, and new carpet, and then decluttering. What Chris does is he'll go in, he'll bring in carpet samples, paint colors. We'll sit and work as a team, and we'll go through outside colors, inside colors, and get it done. I also use a decorator will help us pick the colors out, but you make it effortless. And I think the most important thing to me is that prior to the closing, when you do the work, you go to the what I call the reinspection, and you'll be there to answer the questions for the buyer to show them what you've done. And to me, that is huge because we have what I call extremely smooth closings. Another thing is when you are out working on a home and you're doing one thing, if you see something else that needs to be done, how do you handle telling a seller, I notice that when I was looking at the roof to fix, for instance, some wood decay, and you find out other things need to be done, how do you handle letting them know what has to be done rather than just cover something up? Because you and I know that a lot of times sellers will try to just cover up a problem rather than solve the problem.
Right. Usually when we're doing a repair on a house, we do a pretty thorough estimate, so as we don't have any surprises come up when we're doing the repair. We don't really like to give an estimate and then have our invoice come in higher than that. Actually, I don't think it ever happens.
Has never happened.
So when we do an estimate, we do a very thorough estimate, taking into consideration that when we do repair something, we repair it the right way and not just do like a touch-up or a Band-Aid. We fix it from the inside out and do it correctly.
And that's another thing, is that when we go to, when we finally get the home sold, and I shouldn't say finally, because to me, if we sell it the same day, that's not fast enough for me, and they do the inspection. And if they find something that was on the initial report that you did to help get the house ready and it was overlooked, what I admire most about you, and this is what I tell my sellers, is you'll stand behind the work and you'll fix it at no charge if it was something that was in the estimate and could have been overlooked.
Absolutely. Things get overlooked all the time. I mean, we're all human here. So, yeah, if we definitely miss something, we have no problem going back and fixing it because we look at the long-term relationship with you.
And that's what I think is so important. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.